Hello everybody and welcome to the 6th video in our series of videos on the Reformation. As always, we begin with our learning outcomes, so by the end of this presentation you guys should know 3 facts about the decisions taken at the Council of Trent. Second, you guys should know 2 facts about the Jesuits and their importance to the Counter Reformation. And finally, you guys should know 3 facts about the Court of Inquisition. Today we are going to look at the Catholic Counter Reformation, which was the Catholic Church's response to the rise of Protestant churches. It is traditionally broken into 3 main parts, and we will be sticking with those 3 main parts. The first element of this is the Council of Trent. So this was a council that met 3 times between the years of 1545 and 1563 in Trentino, Italy, consisted of cardinals and bishops to decide on reforms needed in the church. And they focused on 2 main areas: matters of discipline, or how the church was supposed to be organized, and matters of faith, or doctrine, or what Catholics should believe. So in matters of discipline, or how the church was organized, they first of all outlawed the abuses of absenteeism, pluralism, simony, and nepotism, while the sale of indulgences was greatly curtailed. Second, they said that priests couldn't marry, unlike Lutherans, and seminaries were set up in each diocese to ensure that the priests were trained properly. A new catechism, or instructions on religious beliefs of the church, was written, and all Catholics were to be taught with this textbook, which was in kind of like a question and answer format. And finally, Catholics were banned from reading certain books which were listed on a list called the Index. As for issues of faith, or what they should believe in, we looked at this in our video on Martin Luther. So they said that you find guidance about God from the Bible, but also from priests and bishops and the Pope. They said that there are 7 sacraments and not the 2 that Luther was preaching. They said that faith and good works lead to salvation, and the Eucharist was explained through transubstantiation, or the total transformation of the bread and wine of the communion to flesh and blood. And also the Pope was head of the church and not the bishops, which gave the Pope actually even more authority and more gravitas within the Catholic Church after the Reformation. The next element of the Counter-Reformation was the establishment of new orders in the church to promote the church teachings. The most famous of these was the Society of Jesus, or the Jesuits, founded by St. Ignatius of Loyola. He established the Jesuits along military lines, with the leader called the Governor General, and the members followed a strict code of discipline. Ignatius wrote the book The Spiritual Exercises as a guide to train his priests. The Jesuits' goal was to spread Christianity not only across Europe but also Africa, Asia, and the Americas. They set up many settlements in South America, but they were eventually kicked out of the continent in the 1700s as they were seen as having too much power. They founded a lot of schools and colleges, including here in Ireland, and sent many missionaries like Francis Xavier to promote Christianity. The most infamous and final element of the Counter-Reformation was the establishment of the Court of Inquisition. Inquisitions were religious courts that had been established in 1232 by Pope Gregory to deal with the Cathars. The Inquisition was set up to find heretics. The leader of the Inquisition was known as the Grand Inquisitor, and they had developed a pretty brutal and terrifying way of investigating if somebody was a heretic. They would isolate the person in the court. They wouldn't tell them what they were charged with. They would then ask them to confess, not knowing what they were to confess to. Then they would ask them a series of questions which the accused would generally deny. After this, they would be tortured until they admitted to the accusations. Then they would ask them to recant their heretical ways and would face a couple of punishments. In the first one, they would be forced to wear a yellow garment known as a San Benito for the rest of their life. They might also have to receive a certain amount of lashes with this. Or the second punishment is they would be publicly burned at the stake after a ceremony called an auto de fe, or an act of faith, in which they would walk through the town before the execution to scare other heretics. The witch huntings that of the 1500s and 1600s came about due to this insane practice with inquisitors tormenting people into claiming to be witches. And there being this idea among them that there was a worldwide conspiracy of witches that these amazing inquisitors had uncovered. By the time of the Reformation, the Spanish Inquisition, that was already well established, as they had been massacring the Jewish population of Spain since the 1470s, was one of the most feared inquisitions. They then turned their attention from the Jewish conversos, or the Jewish population, to the heretical Protestants. And this in part explains why Protestantism didn't take off in Spain. Another powerful inquisition was established in Italy. The Italian Inquisition was again very similar to the Spanish Inquisition and stopped the spread of Protestantism within Italy. So that brings us to the end of our presentation. So by now you guys should know 3 facts about the decisions taken at the Council of Trent. You guys should know 2 facts about the Jesuits and their importance to the Counter Reformation. And finally, you guys should know 3 facts about the Court of Inquisition. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys got something good from this video.